Okay, so you're getting quiet already, but we're not quite ready to start. So, keep talking amongst yourselves. We're not quite ready to start. I was going to give you one announcement before we get started, because I appreciate you following us up here. Every Tuesday, I hate making that call. It just drives me crazy all day. Is it going to rain? Is it not going to rain? And then tonight, the weather channels say no rain, but they're not living here. They're not looking at it right now. So tonight's too important a night to miss, so we decided to move it in. And Rustin Lippincott and graciously has opened up the place for us, and we appreciate that. So if we get a chance to play indoors here, we kind of take advantage of it. Even though it'd be great to dedicate the bandstand on the bandstand, but you can all close your eyes and pretend when we get to that part. Along with that, I know most of you saw it out there, but the First Christian Church, where they were serving a variety of pies with ice cream for a donation of $3. Now you know that you're not supposed to bring it in here, and a lot of you enjoyed it out there already, but they're going to hang around afterwards, so if you'd like to enjoy some and take home or have some after the show, then they'll still be serving then. So that will be great. So we're about ready to start, but like I said, keep talking amongst yourselves. We're not quite ready just because it took us a little while to move, but we'll be starting here shortly. Thank you.
Good evening. Again, thank you for following us up here to this facility. We appreciate your attendance. And we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm Mary Anderson. I'm the band director at the middle school. I'll be conducting our first piece. It is a fanfare for the unsung hero. And an unsung hero is one whose good deeds are rarely acknowledged or rewarded. A tremendous amount of music has been written for those whose brave actions have earned global acclaim and praise. But this is a musical thank you to those who work behind the scenes to make our communities better places to live. Might be the anonymous donor who funds a shelter for the homeless, the volunteer who works with disadvantaged youth, the parent who comes to the rescue on a band trip, or the friend who provides a shoulder to cry on when it is needed the most. Think of those unsung heroes in your life as you listen to this work, and then give them the heartfelt thank you that they so richly deserve when you see them next. This is Fanfare for the Unsung Hero by Matt Conaway.
Thank you. That piece, Fanfare for the Unsung Hero, we programmed that one first tonight on purpose because I think you'll probably understand why, because of what our program is about and our presentation will be about later on. But before we get to our presentation, we do have another song. We have a piece from a recent movie about a fictitious heroine that was particularly good with a bow and arrow. Here is soundtrack highlights from The Hunger Games. We have one more piece to play for our before our presentation tonight. We've got a trumpet solo, and we can't let him cool off. He's got to stay warm and do this. So we're going to feature one of our band members on a classic trumpet solo titled Grand Russian Fantasia. This will feature Francis Dickey on trumpet. Francis is a well-known local businessman who owns and runs Radiance Dairy. He started the business in, I saw 1992 is when you were, but you've been here longer than that. Somewhere around there. His musical training, he, where am I? I lost that. Yeah. I lost it. I should have turned around. Anyway, he went to school as a music and philosophy major first and did his undergraduate in that. Then he later received a Master of Science degree in Soil Sciences and has a PhD in agronomy. Studying the stars is pretty fun, isn't it? After receiving his PhD, he worked in Washington, D.C. as the National Program Leader for Soil Science for the United States Department of Agriculture. Francis and his wife Susan returned to full-time farming in 1992, and they're operating the Radiance Dairy operation in Fairfield today. So Francis and the band with Grand Fantasia. What's it called? What's this called again? Grand Russian Fantasia. He's so shy. What I'd like to do now is call our presenters tonight up to the stage. We've got some speakers here to help with our presentation tonight, because we would like to begin our special presentation that will honor a man who has been part of Fairfield's music scene for over 65 years. Ron Pearl grew up in Fairfield, attended Parsons College, and taught music in Fairfield for all but 1 year of his music education career. Mr. Pearl was also a member of the Iowa Army National Guard, joining the 34th Army Band in 1948. Since that year, Mr. Pearl has been performing on this bandstand, that's where you gotta close your eyes and pretend, on that bandstand as a member of the Guard Band, as the commander of the Guard Band, as a member of the Fairfield Dixieland Band, and as the founder and member of the Fairfield Municipal Band. Performing on this bandstand for over 65 years, it is fair to say no one has been up there more than Ron Pearl has. We have 4 special guests who will comment on Mr. Pearl's contributions to our community and to our state. Our first speaker tonight is former State Representative Leonard Boswell.
Well, thank you, Jim, and I want to put you at ease. I'm not running for anything. I've had the privilege of serving you, and I guess 20 years in the Army, 12 in the Iowa Senate, and 16 in Washington, and I'm ready for somebody else to do it. I do bring you greetings from Dave Loebsack, but tonight I wanted to come and share with you a little bit. I got the notice that Mr. Pearl was going to be honored, which I thought was very, very appropriate. I went into the Iowa Senate a number of years ago and got acquainted with a guy named Bob King. You know him, Colonel Jacob, all of you do. And it was, found out I was interested in upgrading our armories across the state because I was one of those that understood that we were moving very quickly to where the standing force was included in full strength, the Army Guard, reserves, and all those reserve components. And that's been proven out a lot over these last few years. Maybe we ought to just stop now and say thank you to all of those who've ever wore the uniform. Let's do that. Thank you. One of the things we tried to do then was to upgrade armories, and we seemed to do pretty good. I had a position there with appropriations and stuff in those days and so on, and Bob King and General Austin and others. We moved right along, made some progress, but I discovered that down in Fairfield, Iowa, we had the only Army band in the state, and Mr. Pearl managed to bring that to my attention in those days, and those were far behind him, but they were down here and they had to practice in the garage. I thought that must have been something like we had down the farm maybe, but it was not too much different really. And we had good success on getting asphalt and buildings and bricks and mortar and different things, but we could not come up to renovate the band room. And I left the Iowa Senate very frustrated about that. I went to Congress and just make this point, all earmarks are not bad. And I had the occasion, my first term, to get acquainted with those that had something to say about it. And we were able to bring Fairfield and this armory the necessary funds to build that great band room out there. And it's one of the things that I feel very, very proud of, and I know you do. And as years went by and I got to know Ed Malloy and Sergeant Samuelson and Mr. Pearl and many, many others, I shouldn't have started down names. What a great community you have right here. I think, Ed, you told me some years ago that obstacles are just challenges, and we just get together and work it out. And you demonstrated that time and time again. I brought my school child. My wife had a little accident, so she's not with me tonight. We're going to have to rush right back home. But a friend of ours showed up, and so she came along to keep me awake tonight. But we drove into town, and the first impression that Junior had to say was, what a prosperous, clean, going town. And it is. And you should be proud of it. I know you are. To be in this facility and the things I've seen since I've been gone these last several years, from when I first came here to be your representative, is really noteworthy. To be here tonight, and I'll close with this, Mr. Prill, what you've added to our lives, what you personally have added to our lives, is been a very special thing. The example, I said to you earlier tonight, you've been one of my heroes, and you are. Thank you for the commitment you've made to music and community and family, your state and your country, and all those years in the uniform, and give the leadership that you've given. And to be here tonight to say congratulations for the honor that this town is giving you, well deserved, and what a privilege to know you in my life, and as many others would say the same. God bless, and thank you so much.
Our next presenter doesn't need an introduction. He's probably either tried to sell you a car or something in the past. But Don Samuelson has returned from the Des Moines area to come and address some things for Ron. And the reason this is important for him and to us is Don was Ron's first sergeant for, I'll let you tell how many years because I don't know. But anyway, that's where the history of this comes from. So I think Don's got some scoop on Ron for us.
Now, I want you all to close your eyes and imagine you're in Central Park, because I geared this to being in Central Park. What a gorgeous setting. Green grass, big trees, a nice gazebo, and a wonderful band behind us. Can you think of anything more American than that? I can. I enlisted in the Guard Band in 1959, and Ron Prill was already a sergeant. And Ron Prill helped train us. He helped us in a lot of ways, but one of the best ways that I can remember, he helped a lot with rookie drill. Remember that, Ron? Rookie drill, rookies had special tasks they had to do. And well, you had to be there. I won't go into detail. But seriously, Ron commanded the 34th Army Band in what I considered its growing era, and a rather difficult time. The Army was transitioning from the old Army to the new Army, or total force concept, where the reserve components are to be every bit as ready for active duty as the active components. This meant that you had to take more time out of your daily life and out of your family life and attend schools and everything else. I, for one, fought it. I was wrong. Without a gentleman who's here tonight also, Dick Fullerton, without him getting mad at me, and without the guidance and counseling of Ron Prill, I would never have been a first sergeant. And I am so forever grateful for that. We had some good years together. Too many to mention here tonight because we're on a short time limit. But I do want to tell you this. When Ron Prill retired, he came to me and he said, Sam, you're going to find out some things now. You're going to find out that you are acting commander. Well, I don't know what an acting commander was. How do you act like a commander? They give you Academy Awards for it? I don't know. But anyway, I was to be commander because we didn't have a commander on board yet. And Ron said, you're going to find out that there's decisions to be made. And many times unpopular decisions. You must make those decisions for the good of the whole unit, not for any one individual or for any friendships. He says, Sam, you're going to find out there's a line in the sand. And you're on the other side now. And sometimes it gets lonely at the top. Well, I'm here tonight, Mr. Prill, to tell you it's not lonely tonight. Look around. You've reached the top, Your Fairfield people are here. Many of your former soldiers are here, and people from the Iowa National Guard, and good wishes from as high as national authorities, I'm sure, for the country that you vowed to defend years ago. Mr. Prill, as my commander, I salute you. And as my friend, I congratulate you, sir. Thank you.
Next we have Colonel Todd Jacobus from the Iowa Army National Guard, and he has some words to say about Ron also.
It's great to be here, and I bring greetings from both Major General Orr, the Adjutant General of Iowa, and Lieutenant General retired Bud Lawson, a Fairfield native, who called the 34th Army Band his band. Whenever he referred to it, it was his band. And I think, in large part, that had to do everything with the gentleman that you see sitting here, right here, Mr. Prill. I look at this incredible honor that's being bestowed on Chief Prill by this community, and I say, okay, what type of person and what type of individual does a community recognize something that your grandchildren and great-grandchildren are going to see 50 and 60 years from now? And it's this gentleman to your right, Mr. Ron Prill, is the type of person that a community recognizes. And I've known Mr. Prill since I was a lieutenant, and I think about that. He's been retired since 1992. It doesn't seem like that long ago. I first met him in 1992, and the thing that I know about him is how people interacted when they were around him. And I'm talking about senior officers within the Iowa National Guard, that when someone asked for an opinion and he gave it, they listened. And that says a lot about him. I'm very grateful to see an Iowa National Guardsman recognized this evening. I know I've seen a lot of them today, Mr. Bush, Sergeant Gillespie, I've seen Sergeant Fullerton. So many came to recognize Mr. Prill from his past. But I think that not only are we recognizing him for a service of over 40 years in uniform, but we're recognizing him for an incredible amount of service to this community, and to our state, through his service as a band director at the high school, for his incredible efforts in putting together this awesome band that sits here before you. And he's an example of how one person can make an incredible amount of difference. And I look to him and I say, how can we all be just a little bit like Mr. Prill? Thank you for having me.
Next we have the Honorable Ed Malloy, Mayor of Fairfield, to present Ron with some special paperwork.
Thank you and good evening. Sometimes the best things happen when they happen spontaneously and quickly. And this idea to pay tribute to one of Fairfield's venerable citizens, a man who is deeply revered by everyone in this community, happened very, very quickly and very spontaneously, in time for the last summer concert of this year. And for that, we're all very, very thankful. Ron Prill is one of those people that created a Fairfield tradition that we will long beloved and remember, and one that he did individually. He did in a way that came from a personal inspiration and a passion to assure that this joy of providing music within our community, right in the heart of our downtown, become a long-standing Fairfield tradition. And many times we can take for granted what the real roots are to something that we enjoy, and certainly we have all enjoyed. Ron, being ever present in those concerts, really didn't let us forget that he was a very big part of that beginning. But tonight, we want to formally pay tribute to him, thank him, and institutionalize this Fairfield Band Concert Series in his name. So I'd like to read a proclamation at this time. Whereas Mr. Ron Krill has dedicated his musical talents and love for Fairfield into a lifetime of enjoyment for the community through the Fairfield Municipal Band Concerts. And whereas Ron Krill, as a member of the Iowa National Guard Band since 1948, has been a part of the summer concerts continuously since that time. And whereas Ron Krill founded the Municipal Band and has served as a musician and conductor of the band since 1987. And whereas Tuesday evenings in the summer are sweeter because of the concerts that our community enjoys at the pleasure of Ron Krill's leadership and the efforts of all the band members. And whereas the great summer tradition that Ron Krill helped create will continue to delight our community for decades to come in memory of the inspired beginnings that Ron Krill provided in creating this event. And whereas Ron Krill and the Fairfield Municipal Band has brought great music to enliven Central Park and the great icon of our city, the Central Park gazebo. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Edward Malloy, Mayor of Fairfield, do hereby proclaim the naming of the Central Park Bandstand in honor of Ron Krill, and declare that our municipal band concerts continue in this location in recognition of his life's dedication to music and the community he loves. Please join me in congratulating Ron Krill.
So much to me all these years. I really appreciate it very, very much. We gotta do a march though. Still gotta do a march.
Yep. So we told Ron this was going to be happening. And of course, you know him. He decided, well, if I'm going to be up there, I might as well conduct something while I'm here.
My goodness, there's music on the stand.
See if you can still read it. This is The Thunderer by John Philip Sousa. Kind of a special night for all of us on that, so good to see him back up on that podium. I know people, it's hard for a lot of people to believe that I didn't turn it off. Try that again. Think about it, juice. Anyway, I'll use my band director voice. It's hard for some people to believe that Mr. Pearl was my band director. That's a long time ago, too. That can date things right there. We appreciate you all being here for this special night, for this special presentation. We hope that by next summer, when our concerts begin again, that you will find a plaque on the bandstand that will forever announce that that's the Ron Pearl Bandstand. And he'll also have a plaque that, because this all happened so fast, that's not ready. And that he'll have a plaque to take home for himself once we get those completed. So thanks again for being here for that. Now we will continue our concert with a medley of songs from Rodgers and Hammerstein's Broadway musical, South Pacific. And I do want to acknowledge one other person, because the idea for this happening came from a band member when he and I were talking after Mr. Pearl. We had him at our first concert. He watched his very first concert from the audience this year, and that kind of sparked this in our mind that that deserves to be honored. So the person that really spearheaded this and ramrodded the timing and the contacts and got all that through was our trombonist Jerry Runyon.
can be few other places in England where the ancient landscape has remained so unchanged. This march is in the traditional British style and in honor of that location. Our next piece, Explorations by Chris Bernotas, takes you on a musical journey into uncharted territory with rich harmonies and a multitude of textures. Beginning with a strong statement, the melody moves along with rhythmic interactions and catchy melodic motives as it evolves and develops before arriving at a brief recapitulation and an exciting coda. Everyone in the ensemble has an important role in the musical discoveries of this piece. Use your imagination to create your own musical expedition with Exploration.
From the wonderful world of Disney, we have a great arrangement of some Disney favorites next. It's a medley that contains Fantasmic, which is from a Disney show at Disney World, the Mickey Mouse March, Zippity Doo Dah, It's a Small World, and Part of Your World, and Be Our Guest. I love this arrangement because he does it with a little tongue-in-cheek tweakiness, so it's a great arrangement of these old standards. Here's the Disneyland Celebration.
Well, there may not be many of you in this crowd who might consider themselves gamers, but perhaps your children or grandchildren, or there's a few people out in the audience that might be. And the next piece that we'll be doing is from Skyrim, which is a video game that it's sort of a medieval time period. A lot of it involves fighting dragons. So this is from Dragonborn from Skyrim, and it was arranged by David Sharp, who is the Director of Jazz Studies and Instrumental Music at Indian Hills College up the road. So this is Dragonborn, arranged by David Sharp.
So thank you for being here and sticking with us tonight. We've gone over time. We usually try to shoot right for that 9 o'clock, but we had great business to take care of. And We had politicians here, so it took a little longer than we appreciate them being here for this. I've got a lot of thank yous that I'd like to do just for the end of the season, and thank our Park and Rec for sponsoring us each season. They've been doing that since 1987. The Fairfield Ledger for always posting in the paper our program to let you know when we're going to be, when we're going to have our concerts. They're always faithful in putting it in on Monday, so you know that Tuesday is our concert for that week. And the Fairfield Arts and Convention Center for giving us a home for the last couple of years for us to practice in, because we've always been in search of a place to practice, and they've given this to us the last couple of years where we practice wherever what might be available on our Monday nights. And then also hosting us on occasion. We've on hot nights and rainy nights, we've been in the convention center and had the opportunity and the privilege a couple of times to play in here, and tonight counts as one of those. It's been a great opportunity for us to play on this great stage. Thank our vendors. We've always had people who bring things to you to sell, and ice cream and apple pie, which again, remember, is available after the show, so you can catch that out in the lobby. And thank these people behind me, because they give up 2 nights a week for 6 weeks in a row, 1 night to practice and 1 night to perform, and we appreciate that. And we'd like to thank you, our audience. You are loyal and faithful, and we see many of you each week. And I know the real loyal ones. They were the ones that were standing out in that rain that one time we tried to have our concert. So we really appreciate that. So thanks again to our guests that were here tonight, Mayor Malloy, Colonel Jacobus, Leonard Boswell, and Don Samuelson for helping us with our presentation for Mr. Prill. I'm going to ask Linda Prill is here, for those of you who remember Linda, and she's here to for just this special occasion. But I'm going to ask Linda that I know many of you would like to give your wishes to Ron, and as long as he can do that, we might we'll wheel him out into the lobby as soon as the concert's over. Ron, you won't have to put any chairs away tonight, okay? And then you can give him your best wishes out there. And I think that's it, yes. So here's our last piece, till we see you again. No, it's not next summer. We've got a special presentation that we're going to do as our municipal band on December 15th at 3 o'clock in this very room. We're going to put on a Christmas concert. So there'll be announcements out and reminders, but it's our pleasure to link up with the Sondheim again, and they're going to let us use the stage again for a winter presentation, and we're happy to do that. We haven't done that ever, so it's going to be fun. So until we see you then, we're going to close with the Ringling Brothers Grand Entry March, and we'll follow that with our usual national anthem. This is where you'll have to close your eyes and pretend you're in the park and just imagine the flag. And please join in with us there at the end. So here's yeah, you don't have to turn around this time. You can actually see us play it this time. So here we'll close with Ringling Brothers Grand Entry March. Thanks again for being here with us tonight and sticking with us this late.